Black Heroes Club presents Sir Christon and the Case of the Missing Heiress. The year was 1947. The city was cloaked in fog, the kind that blurred the lines between shadows and secrets. On the corner of Jasper and Martin, tucked above a smoky jazz club, sat the office of Sir Christon, private investigator. The name was painted on the frosted glass door, chipped around the edges, but still carrying weight. Everyone in town knew him. When you had a problem no one else could solve, you went to Sir Christon. It was a slow evening, and Christon leaned back in his chair, the scent of cheap bourbon mixing with the faint smoke from his half-lit cigar. He was halfway through convincing himself to call it a night when the knock came. "Doors open," he called. She stepped in, a silhouette against the flickering neon sign outside. Her dress shimmered like liquid gold, but her eyes were heavy with worry. She had the kind of beauty that made men act stupid and women suspicious. "Sir Christon?" she asked, her voice smooth as silk, but trembling at the edges. "That's what the door says. What can I do for you?" He gestured to the chair across from his desk. She sat down, pulling a delicate handkerchief from her purse. "My name is Vivian Royce. My sister, Eleanor, is missing." "Missing how?" Christon asked, leaning forward. "People don't just vanish without a reason." "That's what I'm afraid of," she said, her voice cracking. "She's the heiress to the Royce family fortune. And, well, not everyone's happy about that." By the time Vivian finished her story, Christon had a folder full of notes and a gut feeling that this wasn't just a case of a runaway heiress. There was money involved. Big money. And where money went, danger followed. The first stop was Eleanor's apartment on the east side of town. It was one of those places where the wallpaper peeled like old bandages, but the rent was sky high because of the view. Christon didn't care about the view. He cared about the overturned chair in the living room and the faint trace of perfume lingering in the air. He spotted it immediately. A single envelope on the coffee table, torn open. Inside was a letter with a single sentence: "Stay quiet, or you'll regret it." Christon frowned. Subtle. He pocketed the letter and continued searching. A few hours later, he had a list of names, 2 cigarette butts that didn't match, and an address scrawled on the back of a receipt. The address led him to a nightclub downtown, a place called the Velvet Lounge, the kind of joint where everyone wore their secrets like a second coat. Christon walked in, his trench coat slick from the rain outside, and he headed straight for the bartender. "Looking for Eleanor Royce," he said, sliding a few bills across the counter. "You seen her?" The bartender, a wiry man with slick black hair, glanced at the money before pocketing it. "She was here a couple of nights ago. Left with a guy in a gray suit. Didn't catch his name, though. But he looked like trouble." Christon nodded. They always do. He turned to leave, but a hand grabbed his shoulder. "You asking too many questions, pal." Christon didn't look back. "And you're about to lose a hand if you don't let go." The grip loosened, but the warning was clear. Someone didn't want him digging too deep. By the time Christon tracked down the man in the gray suit, he had pieced most of it together. Eleanor hadn't run away. She'd been taken. The man in the gray suit, a shady business partner of the Royce family, had been blackmailing her father. When Eleanor found out, she became a liability. He needed her out the picture, But he hadn't counted on Vivian hiring Christon. Christon cornered him in an abandoned warehouse by the docks, where he found Eleanor tied to a chair, her face pale but defiant. "You've got two choices," Christon said, his gun drawn. "Let her go, or we finish this the hard way." The man sneered. "You won't shoot me. You're the good guy." Christon smirked. "Good guys don't carry 2 bullets for insurance." The man hesitated, just long enough for Christon to knock the gun out of his hand and land a solid punch to his jaw. By the time the cops arrived, the man was cuffed, and Eleanor was safe. Back at his office, Vivian thanked him, tears in her eyes. "I don't know how to repay you." Christon lit another cigar and shrugged. "Keep your sister safe. That's payment enough." As she left, Christon leaned back in his chair, staring out the window at the city below. He didn't call himself a hero. Heroes got statuses and parades. He just did the job, one case at a time. But maybe that was enough.